Care to explain how Halbeck lost its missiles?
Old news. An accounting error.
The missiles. You didn't lose them, did you?
Angry, Mr. Thornton? Because of what happened in Saudi Arabia.
Mike, can you read me? I'm getting lots of interference.
Reading you loud and clear. Where can I find Shahid?
It's a little more complicated than that. It's gonna require some groundwork, and lots of it. Good to see you're eager to get started. Finding Shahid is your primary objective. Trouble is, we don't know his location, but we have 3 leads. An arms dealer, Nasri, is believed to have sold the missiles to Shahid, and he's currently operating in Saudi Arabia. If you can intercept him, maybe he can tell you where Shahid is, or guide you to the missiles.
Got it. What's the next lead?
We also tracked down the location of an airfield Shahid used in the past. If you can sneak in and plant a listening device, we may be able to track flight Shahid is using to move through Saudi Arabia.
And the third lead?
We've got the coordinates of an Al-Samad detention camp, also used as a stockpile for weapons. We suspect the missiles may be stored there.
Is there any way to be sure the missiles are there?
Not at this time. The area is dug into the side of a canyon, and getting reliable satellite imagery when sandstorms aren't blowing has been almost impossible. We'll want you to go in alone, recon the area, and shut down their radar and communications. Once that's down, we can call in air support and hit the camp hard.
No pressure.
And no backup. Get used to it. It's the job. You check out your new home yet? It's got some perks you might be interested in.
Anything beyond the weapons locker?
Thought that might hold your attention.
It did? Anything else?
A computer with a hub connection so fast you'll feel like you're going back in time.
What, to the Stone Age? Please.
You can do dossier research, encrypted emails, and if need be, access some of the weapons dealers in the area. That'll be done on your own dime, however, using whatever funds you can find in Saudi Arabia.
I understand, sir. We wouldn't want Alpha Protocol tied to any weapons trafficking in the Middle East.
Exactly. The weapons locker you already found, help yourself to what's inside. Just be sure to choose the ammo and armor you think suits the mission. When you're ready to head out, just use the front door, or access the missions from the main terminal. I'll have already uploaded all the mission specs to your PDA. You can review them at any time.
Alright, so is that it? Westridge. Great. Home sweet home.
Got that right, Mike. Hey there, friendos, Fredo Supreme, the American Dream, back again with more Alpha Protocol. Now, you may be noticing a little something. Yes, I am going to be idling on this screen for a while because, number 1, I did post-commentary again, and number 2, I think I need to buy myself a little bit of time to put a little more commentary in, as to explain some bits. Now, you may have noticed that I put a lot of points into stealth, with pistols being a close second in terms of stat favoritism. It's because those two complement each other quite well. Stealth is, as anyone knows, just moving around quietly. Don't really know why I had to explain that to you. But pistols are also the only weapon, as I said in the previous part, I think I did, that can have a silencer fitted. You can buy silenced rounds for the assault rifles, but as I mentioned in the last video, I'm not really an assault rifle user based on how the burst firing is kind of counterintuitive to someone who is as anal retentive to accuracy as I am in this game. Oh, and I'm also going to be trying to put as many points into martial arts because that's also covered by specialization once I complete the Saudi Arabia missions anyways. I'll talk about that. And this is getting awkward. Maybe I should do live commentary after all. Ah, there we go. Now, I'm going to be frank with you. The stealth bits are, the stealth in the early levels are kind of embarrassing on my part, on the grounds that, for some reason, I'm not exactly good at them, because I forgot that you can, because even in Saudi Arabia, your skills can evolve past level 5 as you level up. Well, when I say evolve past, I mean the highest possible level game kind of keeps you from level grinding, you know? So, this is the weapons locker, basically how you choose your loadout for the missions. Switching to the shotgun, because it's a better non-lethal weapon. I'll explain that later. And the pistol, the Hamilton 45, seems to be my go-to weapon. Seem to be a big fan of it, because this game is kind of historic in the fact that it's the first one, to my knowledge, to use a first game to use a Smith & Wesson M&P as a basis for a handgun, as opposed to something commonplace like a Glock or a Colt. But that's kind of besides the point right now. So this is the email. It's how you. It's a good way to get funds and intel from additional places, as opposed to just finding them in the missions. Just got 10,000 from a slush fund from Mina. And here you can also affect your reputations with people based on how you reply to their emails. If you pick Suave, then you get a -1 with Mina. If you do as Professional, like I just did, then you get a +1. And I forget what happens if you pick the aggressive choice. By the way, the mission that Darcy is talking about, this is the one that you can't completely stealth. The reason I'm talking about stealth is because, as for the one with the Shadows achievement, you have to complete a mission without any enemy's awareness pips going red, and there are only 6 missions like that in the game where you can actually do that. By the way, I know I can buy the Semi-L Sidewinder pistol, but I'm a Hamilton fanboy right now, so I'll just let it slide. By the way, that intel right there, the one that I just bought for $2,550, that one becomes a lot cheaper if you make a certain choice at the end of the mission that I'm going to do next. And these surveillance maps that you can purchase, the little security detail maps, those are the cheapest intel in the game, and while most of them are kind of unnecessary, you actually do need 1 or 2 of them to be able to access certain areas of certain missions which house valuable intel. They're not exactly commonplace, but trust me, it's one of the things in this game that I think could have used a little bit more thought than not at all. By the way, if Obsidian ever watches this, I am not implying that you guys didn't think when you made this game. I'm just saying I am just digging myself incredibly deep right now. Anyways, here I changed to casual attire because that's quieter than the SWAT utility armor, and for whatever reason, I didn't consider buying the stealth armor, which is slightly louder than casual wear, but still, it does work as a good compensation if you blow your cover. Anyways, here I speed up because I realized I was putzing around and accidentally did the little objectives first. Did them in reverse order, actually. Checked the weapons locker, then went to the computer. And then I somehow forgot to buy the non-lethal hardware. In this case, flashbangs and shock traps. As far as I can tell, shock traps work the same as incendiary grenades, only instead of burning someone to death, it just knocks them out. Here I think I may have been considering doing some sort of MTV Cribs-style joke, but I kind of forgot. Possibly.
In Washington today, Senator Patrick Darcy unveiled new legislation aimed at cleaning up the federal government by greatly restricting lobbyists' access to legislators.
The bill, called the People Over Rich Corporations Act, or PORC Act, would prohibit lobbyists from contributing to election campaigns and require anyone affiliated with a corporation to stay 500 feet or more away from any member.
That sounds like a pretty good act. Might support it in real life. And that is as political as I'm getting today. So, about the news broadcasts, that's actually kind of interesting because much like Weasel News in the more recent Grand Theft Auto games, INN will report on outcomes of certain missions. It depends on how you concluded the mission, for the ones that can be finished in certain ways. Here I give Mike a beard because trying to blend in with the locals a little bit. I'm not implying anything, I'm just saying. Beards do make you look like a real baller. Even if you are a white guy, you can still kind of look like Rick Ross. Let the record state that I know next to nothing about Rick Ross, and I just mentioned him because he has a super bushy beard. I have got to listen to more modern rap music. So, we are about to start our first mission, Intercept Nasri the Arms Dealer. One of the 6 that can be completed completely stealthily, if you're going for the one with the shadows achievement. Something that you will quickly see that I can't do. By the way, I cut out a somewhat long loading screen. Well, most of the loading screens anyway. That is where some of the fluff of the early parts of this game come from.
Careful, Mike. Don't play games with these guys.
If I could get in without a firefight, that makes getting to Nasri that much easier.
American. Nasri said nothing about an American.
There's a lot Nasri doesn't tell you.
You armed American?
In our trade, of course I am. What, you think I'm gonna shoot you all and carry your entire shipment out on my back?
If you did, you would die.
Exactly.
Go on through. Nasri.
Now I picked the aggressive choice to get through that conversation, and if you're going for one with the shadows progress, then that's the only way you'll be able to stealthily get past all the guards here. If you pick direct, which is something I did on my first couple of playthroughs, you'll get through, and then I assume they call the palace to tell Nasri that you're coming. He realizes that you weren't scheduled to meet with him, and alarm. Meanwhile, joking and draw a gun are basically the same thing. Sets the guards off. Only difference is, if you pick joking, then it makes progress towards another perk.
That's your target.
It has been quiet since the airliner. I would have expected more to have happened.
The airliner was enough, and we have the Hellbeck missiles for that. Do not-
So, here's a little bit of extra waiting, while I wait for this one enemy to walk past. That's one of the downsides of this game. Whenever you kill or subdue an enemy, you can't move their body afterwards, like in games like Deus Ex, or, heck, even Rogue Ops. For those of you who don't know what Rogue Ops is, I'll explain it later, once I have another set of ears to listen to this commentary. In fact, I actually kind of think that the Razor sunglasses kind of remind me of the visor system in that game. Here, I am working on timing, making sure no guards watch me do some epic parkour over the alleyway, get that Mirror's Edge tech in. Right there I picked up an additional sight for my guns, and if you're wondering why I just focused on those rifles there, it's because those appear to be QBZ-95 bullpup rifles. It's odd because those kinds of rifles show up as props a lot through the game, but you never actually see anybody using non-bullpup rifles. I'm guessing that was another thing that got cut from the game. They cut it out because they didn't have Obsidian didn't have enough time to work on another reload animation. Now, I don't know if Obsidian watches this, but trust me, I'm not trying to diss you guys. This game is one of my big favorites. I'm just saying, the executives may have rushed you a little bit on this one. No shame in that. You still made a game that was pretty good in my eyes. And once more, I wait for that one enemy to walk past, curious if the guard on the left is going to turn around. Here he does, but if you watch the and in hindsight, I probably should have just hid behind that wall, waited for the guard to come back. But, as a result, I managed to take minimal damage and subdued the guard blazingly quick. I waited a few seconds for my endurance to recharge. Now, as you notice that I have only 35 endurance, so after the cooldown, it takes a while to come back. I'll explain after By the way, if you're wondering why there was a cross dissolve there, it was because I had to do this sequence twice, because after I finished it, while I was recording the footage, I had to charge the laptop that I was using to record this, And I inadvertently fired a shot because I nudged the fire button on my controller. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, but oh, who am I kidding? Even I don't believe that. I was trying to get the accuracy rating as high as possible for the pistols, but I had to do a little bit of save spamming. As you get... Anyways, back to what I was saying about endurance. One of the things that the game doesn't tell you is that the more endurance points you have, the faster it trickles back in once you get past the few seconds of waiting for the regeneration to kick in. Here, speeding it up a little bit because I'm waiting for another guard to walk past. And here he comes. Now, if I wasn't concerned with being stealthy, I could have shot that barrel and blown it up with a little bit of that collateral damage. But, just one more guard here. Just making sure he doesn't spot me, because at this point, I'm still convinced that I can do a One with the Shadows run of this level. However, as you will see in the segment immediately after this, you will notice that I'm about as stealthy as a Super Bowl I'm about as clandestine as a Super Bowl halftime show. Borrowed that metaphor from Big Trouble, one of my favorite Dave Barry novels. And... skish boom pow! Mama said knock you out, and I am done with this segment, and I am aware that I missed an ammo cache just behind that other guard. And there you go. If you're wondering why there were two cross dissolves back to back almost, it's because as I mentioned earlier, these early levels are filled with a lot of fluff. As a result, there's some bits where you're just walking through, nothing's happening, nothing to pick up, and no dialogue.
Start unloading the second truck.
Why must we hurry to unload these weapons?
Now this bit is where my stealth running level goes to hell, because it's a wide open area, and I forgot that your skills evolve past level 5 in the Saudi Arabia missions. I was just doing this one first to unlock a bonus objective in the level that I'm going to do third. In hindsight, I should have just done it the same way I did my first playthrough ever of this game, and done the airfield first, because there's no bonus objectives related to outcomes of this mission. Here, I kind of panic because I don't exactly know how to... Despite having beaten this game 12 times in the past, I still can't remember how most of the guards operate. Of course, that may have to do with the fact that in the Saudi Arabia missions, I tend to forget a lot of stuff. Basically because the rest of the game is a lot more ridiculous and memorable. Trying to get a headshot on the on that guard there. Here, I putz around and grab $100 out of that guy's wallet. Now, in hindsight, I probably oh, wait a minute. In hindsight, I probably should have just tried to take the shot, deal with the guard on the rafters from range instead of running up here, triggering that one guy. And, long story short... By the way, I did see those takedown kill prompts. Don't really know why the game gave it to me, even though there was a wall in between that one enemy and myself. But, here you go. I'm about to demonstrate the wonderful non-lethal capabilities of the shotgun. But, after missing completely... Never noticed, but those guys have terrible aim. And he didn't actually get to the alarm, but it still went off, which is one of the more confusing parts of this game. Here I'm speeding it up because I'm attempting to get back on track after getting distracted by both accidentally causing an alarm and almost forgetting a duffel bag at the edge there. Now this next segment, well, after the next room with 2 guards in it, is going to be one where I show off the non-lethal capabilities of the shotgun a lot better. Mainly because, once again, I stupid myself to victory. And even I'm not entirely sure how I did. Well, not entirely sure how I did that. Not entirely sure about my result. Now this room, it's actually pretty easy to stealth through it, as I will quickly demonstrate. By the way, something you might have noticed about that one guard who I took down before, or getting up on the rafters in the last part, people in this game tend to have very bad eyesight at 90-degree angles. Case in point. And here we go. Welcome to the marketplace, people. You can, by the way, which I will quickly demonstrate, but it's not exactly advised if you're trying to be stealthy. Now that's something buying the maps in the intel menu gives you, a little stealth path. It's kind of vague, but generally if you want to be stealthy, you stick to that path. If you want to be stealthy and collect all the items in an area, well, you might want to be a little bit more lucky with that, preferably by investing in some stealth skills. Right there I have pretty good timing because I was lucky enough for that one guard to be walking away as soon as I subdued his homie. And I get even luckier there, managing to choke him out. And, yes, and this is right where the stealthy bit goes to hell. But at least I managed to subdue that one guard very quickly. And I warn you, I'm about to do a lot of putzing around, looking for items to collect, and a safe to crack. Still, you gotta admit, despite there being a jump cut, you can still tell that it was kind of obvious that I did pretty well in sneaking around right now. Stupiding myself to victory once more. By the way, I think I just noticed something. I putz around a lot and inadvertently cause a lot of extra padding in this Let's Play, just like how there's a lot of padding in the Saudi Arabia missions. I seem to be talking about that a lot in this playthrough. Well, at the moment. Right now I'm about to hack the missile system, resulting in one of the funnier lines in this game, and backblast. I did not remember that you could actually get hurt by the backblast on the missile launcher right there. But right now I forget about the alarm on the grounds that I'm attempting to deal with these guards as non-lethally as possible. I am actively surprised that I was able to get enough stun time on these dudes for the shotgun stun strategy to work. Once again, I shut the alarm off so I can operate in peace and quiet once more. And if you thought those two bits were the truck yard and the marketplace, which I just finished, were a little bit tricky in order to be stealthy, hoo-wee! You ain't seen nothing yet, because this last room is kind of the hardest to stealth around, if you don't know what you're doing, which I clearly do not.
Careful, Mike. Nasri's got to be nearby. There's no
Here I
other
attempt
exits
to
from the
lure
palace.
some enemies to the door. And it actually works. Now, as you can see, it's a big open room. as you can see, I also mess up incredibly hard, and decide to try to use the shotgun strategy again. It did not work. I am actually surprised that I didn't accidentally kill that guy with my critical hit. Grenades. By the way, there's a few elite guards in the room, well, at least one elite guard. You can identify him by his red balaclava. If you look carefully, you can see a split second of him. He's right down there. And he was unaffected by my shotgun blast. Here I attempt to use a shock trap to deal with him from afar. Now, if I was a bit stealthier in this bit, then I would have actually been able to use those tables as cover. You know, those tables right on the left side? Well, they were on the left side of the screen a few seconds ago, that have nothing covering them and would make it incredibly easy to be spotted behind if you were hiding behind them. And yet, strangely enough, it still works. Oh, by the way, that ammo cache I just picked up, it respawns every 30 seconds or so. So if you're interested in sticking around for a while, you can use that as a infinite ammo source. But getting back to the table that you can take cover behind and not get seen, that kind of reminds me of a part in Indigo Prophecy where Lucas is hiding from the cops at Tiffany's place, and one of the good hiding spots is underneath a table that's right in front of the door that's covered by a tablecloth that doesn't even get all the way to the bottom of the ground. And yet if you didn't see it in the premonitions at the beginning, it still works as a applicable hiding spot. Don't know if that was intentional, that reference, but whatever, I'm down.
He's right here. He's got nowhere to run. This should be quick. Give me a sec.
You, who are you?
See the gun? That's who I am.
You do this? Why? I am businessman, not attack anyone.
Look, enough already. Tell me where the Halbeck missiles are, or I add you to the body count.
The missiles? You are too late. Already gone. Sold. You cause all this trouble for nothing.
Sold? To who?
I take their cash, not their names. You come a few days ago. Maybe you could have killed them instead of my men, huh?
Mike, this is bad news. If he's telling the truth.
What you do now, huh? Kill me? That not get your missiles back.
Mike, we need to know where those missiles went.
If we let him go, he could lead us to the people he sold the missiles to. Or they might come after him. Either way, we win.
But if he can't lead us to the buyers, then we've let a killer go, and more people will die. Remember that rocket attack in
Money, guns, yours, if you let me go.
No, we're taking you into custody. The copter will be here to pick you up, and your munitions.
What? Look, I pay you. You not hear me?
Westridge,
I say
for delivery.
On their way, Mike.
Can't risk the consequences of letting him go. We can find the missiles some other way.
Fair enough. Search the room, see what you can find.
And as you see, we just brought in Nasri, despite his claims that he could provide us with anything we wanted. By the way, if you extorted him, then he would provide you sick discounts, and that $2,550 piece of intel for the detention camp mission would have only been $4. The cost? There would be an INN report about how an army base got massacred, and it's heavily implied that he sold the weapons to the attackers. Anyways, with that in mind, I decide to do a little bit more leveling up. Right now I just got the ability to do a 2-shot chain shot, which is basically like Mark and Execute in Splinter Cell Conviction, or point shooting in Hitman Absolution, or Deadeye in the Red Dead games. It's one of my preferred ways to deal with bosses. And if I had enough AP to level up one more, then I could have been able to do critical hits from cover with pistols. Pretty useful. By the way, if you If you arrest Nasri, then you still get $15,000 on the spot, just like if you had extorted him. By the way, arresting him gives you bonus intel for the detention camp, like I said earlier. That's why I did this mission instead of any others. Well, in hindsight, I should have done the mission that I'm about to do next, the airfield. After putzing around a little bit on the clearinghouse and the computer, I decide to swap out my sick Foreign Legion beret for something that's a little bit more camouflaged. Get myself a do-rag on. By the way, if you, I'll explain later.
Mike, congratulations on bringing in Nasri. They're interrogating him now.
Anything on Shahid?
No. We've got a lot of information on arms trafficking in the region. We should be able to shut down a lot of pipelines before people get hurt. But nothing on Shahid.
Nasri's not talking? Damn it, I thought for sure. Maybe bringing him in was a waste of time.
I don't think so, Mike. You made the right call. Anything come up you need my help with?
So you've been with Alpha Protocol a while then?
Not as long as Westridge, and not nearly as long as Parker. This assignment with Shahid is probably the biggest one I've been involved in.
What other assignments have you been on?
I went undercover with Parker in Milan as a contractor for Halbeck. It's how we found out the missiles were gone in the first place. Although it was too late to stop Shahid. The incident with the airliner.
Well, we'll catch him this time. He won't get another chance.
I hope so. I feel like if we'd been a little quicker with analyzing the data...
Don't beat yourself up over it. What's done is done. Let's focus on the next step.
You're right. We're closing in on him, and it shouldn't be much longer.
Still, with Alpha Protocol, what I don't understand is why the United States would want to keep this operation secret. Don't they want Shahid captured?
I think it's the missiles that are the problem. Halbeck's a substantial government contractor. The fact the missiles were involved complicates things.
Complicates things? As in, they're a potential embarrassment to Halbeck?
I think that's a big part of it. U.S. weapons used to kill U.S. citizens wouldn't look good on a front page, even if the missiles were stolen. Alpha Protocol does a lot of operations like this. I don't know all of them, or all the names this program has had. It carries out missions without the knowledge of other U.S. agencies.
Sounds like it helps get the job done.
True enough. It allows us to move quickly when need be. The CIA, the NSA, most congressmen don't even have a clue this program exists. It's designed to prevent red tape. And if it's found out, it just gets buried and renamed.
Renamed? To Beta or Gamma Protocol?
No clue. Parker probably does. He's been here the longest. Whenever it's in danger of being exposed, it closes shop, and a new one opens up.
Interesting. I guess that's good to know. Wonder if I'd get a new name if Alpha Protocol shut down.
I don't know. We might get new names, new identities. Or fired.
This seems like a big assignment for a new hire. There must have been other candidates.
There were other candidates, including Darcy. But the recommendation was based on Parker, Westridge, and me. Although when I made my recommendation, it wasn't about Shahid. It was about the larger mission.
So why me?
Because I think when given a choice, you're going to choose the people of a country over the heads of state. And that's not a choice many people here would make in the same circumstances. Especially Darcy. To be fair to Darcy, though, he has family issues that prevent him from going. Notably his father. According to your dossier, your family isn't an issue.
Is that all I am to you? A dossier?
Until you arrived at Alpha Protocol, you were. Not anymore. I think you're someone who does what's right. And that's what I'm counting on.
So I've read up on you.
Really? Thinking about a career as a stalker?
Isn't that what a handler is?
Some truth to that.
You used to be with the National Security Administration, right?
Yes. But it didn't work out so well. I felt I wasn't doing much to make the world a safer place.
So you signed on to Alpha Protocol?
They contacted me, yes. And here I am, talking to you now.
Can you tell me anything about my mission here in Saudi?
Probably nothing Westridge hasn't explained already. If you infiltrate the airfield Shahid uses, I may have more practical advice.
Why is that?
I'll be your handler for that mission. Don't worry, I'll be gentle. I know it's your first time infiltrating an airfield.
As long as you're backing me up, I think I'll be in good hands.
That's very optimistic of you, Agent Thornton. But I appreciate the trust.
Can you tell me anything about Shahid?
Not much more than you'd find in his dossier. His personal fortune doubled in 1 year when gas was $4 a gallon. And he likes feeling safe when he travels.
What do you mean, safe?
While Al-Samad is mostly untrained civilians using Cold War guns, his personal bodyguards are well-trained. And judging from the missile used on the airliner, let's just say he makes sure they have cutting-edge tech.
That's all I need. Thanks, Mina.
You got it.
And here we go. Mission numero dos of this playthrough.
Try not to alert the camp. If you do, we may lose our chance to find Shahid. Sure is a lot of security. It's bad.
And if you're wondering why I'm crouch walking everywhere, it's because when you have the stealth tree leveled up sufficiently enough, then crouching adds a bonus to your something called concealment, which basically reduces enemy sight range, similar to the digital camouflage that I just purchased at the clearinghouse before I started this mission.
Terminal for the gate in one of the buildings, aside from the panel on the gate itself, but
Walking right up to the gate will leave me exposed. Got it. I might be able to find a way over it.
if you can fly, then you're welcome to try.
I think you'd be surprised.
Now, I'm about to commit a minor sin for the concept of a one with the shadows run. Specifically, I'm going to be killing some enemies, but that's mainly just so I can show off the sniper rifle and how useful it is in terms of sheer power. Of course, it's going to be a moot point anyways. You'll see why in a few minutes. And hello, Mr. Sniper Rifle. My good old friend, the Spear of Justice. Now, you can't move with the rifle. It's basically a glorified turret, but it's a one-hit kill, and it's also silenced, which makes it quite the cannon if you're interested in stealth, but don't really have that much of a high priority on preserving lives. It's okay, folks. I ain't gonna judge you. Now, this is one of the ways... Now, in hindsight, I should have just stayed on the ground level here. Hacking that computer opens up the gate, allowing you to just do the rockaway through it, as opposed to what I'm about to do, which turns out to be tactically stupid, in hindsight. Now, this little warehouse over here doesn't hold as many cool things as the unlocked one. Case in point, only thing you can pick up, ammo. Just giving itself the look over to make sure there really was nothing. In hindsight, I should have just jumped over on those storage containers on the left there. Went down in the warehouse. But, notice the placement of that camera. And notice the fact that I have remarkably bad timing. Now, this is probably going to be the only time in this Let's Play that I'm going to save spam. Mainly because I was still convinced I could make progress towards One with the Shadows with this playthrough. Now, even though I'm speeding up the footage right now, I'm going to ask you something. Can you see it? If the answer is no, then I'm going to explain to you what I was asking if you could see, and that is the lack of awareness pips. That's right, this game sometimes glitches out, and although in hindsight it actually did work pretty well, because there was just that one guard who I had to take down, thus making the initial bit a little bit easier. Right there, I just got a look at the guards, but decided to go over to this door because, number one, I could really use the extra XP from hacking the key panel. Now, even if you just non-lethally subdue these elite guards, it still counts as having killed them. And in hindsight, I probably should have just waited for that one guy to get closer, because that's one of the problems with tranquilizer rounds. They even if the trickle effect from the damage does cause an enemy to go down at the end, they can still fire while they're being affected by the tranquilizers, unlike the incendiary bombs and the shock traps, which effectively stun lock them. I am actively surprised that I was able to not get spotted by that one guy, even though I did have evasion. Ready? Huh. I am simultaneously very good and very bad at this game. By the way, I just ran up onto that catwalk up there to grab a duffel bag that turned out to have only $500 in it. By the way, if you're wondering why there's no guards in this warehouse, it's because they were alerted by that second elite guard firing while getting tranquilized. Even then...
And that's that.
Good job.
Then you may have noticed that there was a red pip on the top left of the screen when I was heading over to the second hangar. It is now the world's smallest pip on the screen, if I would just stop moving around so much. Here I attempt to be a little bit stealthier, because even though I've blown my chance to make progress towards One of the Shadows, don't fret, friendos. I still have 4 more missions where you can be completely stealthy. But for whatever reason, I end up getting spotted by that guy who runs towards me instead of where he heard the sound. And this is where most of my One with the Shadows runs tend to go to hell. That turret guy up there, that is where most of my One with the Shadows playthroughs of this level tend to become forfeit. Of course, that's usually because I don't have stealth leveled up past 5. I keep forgetting that I can do that. Fortunately, I managed to evade the turret guy and move around long enough for a little window of opportunity. And apparently the flashback did not affect the homie on the ground. Here I just decide, whatever, I'm just gonna run up and smack the flavor out his mouth. Thus leaving me with only one big problem. Suppose it could have been worse. I could have decided to charge into this bit before he blew up my truck. Otherwise. Here I demonstrate one of the more underused mechanics of the game, the cover transition. Here's more. Just press up on the stick and the sprint button, run immediately to next cover. And I attempt to take this one guy out with a shock trap from afar. Works. Just skipping ahead to a point where I'm already in the warehouse. Why do I keep alternating between calling the buildings hangars and warehouses? Decided to take a little bit of that sweet pharmaceutical relief there. No, wait, no, I don't. Forgot about this. It's been a while since I actually recorded this part. That's one of the downsides of big, wide-open levels in a stealth game. It's like a billion places for the enemies to jump you from. But alas, I decide that getting in a direct confrontation with them is not exactly worth it, so I just decide to take the high ground. Literally. And another $500 duffel bag. And a shortcut. As you can see, it's a marginally better outcome than if I had engaged the guards over there. By the way, what was that one guy doing before he walked over to those crates? I'm guessing he was answering the call of nature. Now, if I had level 5 in pistols, then I could have just done a blind fire critical hit on
Looks
that
like
one
they got
guy.
a stockpile of weapons here. I'm gonna see if I can destroy these crates before they get shipped out.
All right, Mike. But the control tower comes first.
By the way, I know there was I think I saw a pickup in that little doorway right behind the crates. Yeah, I think I saw a little pickup, Pip. Man, so many parts
that's
in the
the
early
last
parts of the
Well
game
done.
that I keep
Now
forgetting
for the
about.
tower.
You would think someone who's beaten this game as much as I have would remember. By the way, I just cut out a little waiting there for him to turn around. Tranquilizer headshot on that fool. And bypassing turret guy 2, taking the high road once more. Pun somewhat intended.
I'm in the control tower now.
Look around for any computers. They may have flight records stored on them we can use to help track Shahid.
And a little bit more waiting for this guy coming down the hall to turn around so I can deal with him without anybody noticing. And then I remembered that there was one guy in the control room over here. He walks out, and cover's blown. Fortunately, I get somewhat lucky in that regard, based on the aforementioned 90-degree vision radius problem that I mentioned earlier. Tunnel vision, that's the term. Don't mind me, sir. I'm just a floating do-rag. Break yourself, fool. I'm gonna take your ducats. By the way, guys, is my commentary a little bit stale and or annoying based on how much hip-hop slang I try to use? I'm gonna say yeah. But surprisingly enough, despite that little turret problem that I managed to deal with a well-thrown shock trap earlier, this is actually one of the less annoying missions you can do to get the One with the Shadows achievement. It's a shame that 2 of them come later in the game, and one of them you actually have to find a lot of intel in order to get the chance to get it, you know? Now I could just run up the stairs, deal with the last guard in the control tower, and to finish the mission, but I decided to pick this lock here because I got some free time. In hindsight, I should have cut this part out. Oh right, I almost forgot about the basement. 2 extra guys down here, and a bonus objective. And wait. Did I get hit by that one guy and not take damage? Huh. Man, sometimes I even manage to confuse myself with my own playthroughs. Right here is a bonus objective where you can hack the computer and get a little bit of flight logs.
Done. Transmitting the logs now.
Why, thank you, Mr. Thornton. It seems you found the Al-Samad flight records. Can't wait to analyze these.
And here is the part where I go and finish the mission for realsies. I switched to flashbangs because I was interested in seeing if I could deal with this extra guy, deal with this last goon in a specific manner, doing one of them trick shots with my flashy. Why'd I just call it a flashy? Never even saw me coming. And with that concludes all the pickups in the airfield mission. Well, all the pickups that I didn't forget, like some sort of idiot. And just gotta...
Receiving. Link strong, we're good. Now get out of there.
And if you are somehow still with us for this video, congratulations. You are now 2/3 through something that I kind of didn't think through exactly. Well, when I say didn't think through, I mean didn't think the scheduling through. Like, maybe I should have split this into 2 parts.
Mike, I see you made it back all right. Nothing on the channel about any disturbances at the airfield. Well done.
If you want the job done right, you send in the best.
I'm surprised they didn't see your ego coming a mile away. But still, good job. If this keeps up, we should be able to catch Shahid. And from there, recovering the missiles should be easy.
I don't think Shahid will see me coming until it's too late. Is the bug transmitting?
Loud and clear, no problems. Parker's on it now, which is why I called. Looks like we have something. Shahid's coordinates and an ETA.
How reliable is it?
90%. The information we got from Nasri helped, and the transmission we're getting from the airfield confirms it. It looks like this is it, Mike. Westridge will be with you on the comm, and I'll be monitoring in case things get difficult.
What about the Al Samad camp? Should I still check it out, or...?
There's time. You may find something useful. Try not to get killed, though, or else we'll have to find another agent.
You know, you need to work on your compassion.
I'm too busy working on my pragmatism. Goodbye, Mike. When you go after Shahid, Westridge will contact you.
And with that, we are done with all the missions we can do stealthily in Saudi Arabia. Well, when I say stealthily, I mean, like, progressing towards getting the one with the shadows achievement and perk. I mean, you can do stealth in in a lot of the missions. It's just that... See, this is another bonus from arresting Nasri as opposed to sending him to Kingdom Come. Yet forgot about the bonus intel for the finale of Saudi Arabia. Now, if you're not exactly interested in doing the doing the third mission in Saudi Arabia, you can just skip to the final mission and get the heck out of here. Get on with the game. The achievement will not judge you if you haven't earned that achievement to begin with.
What's up, Mikey? Problems already?
Just checking in. Had some questions about the mission and Alpha Protocol.
Well, I guess I should feel lucky you're not within shooting distance. After the cheap shots you took on the firing range.
The Al Samad detention camp where they got the weapon stockpiles? Anything you can tell me?
Getting satellite imagery of the area has been hard. My contacts haven't turned up much.
What's the problem with the imagery?
Camp's remote and dug into the side of a canyon. Beautiful view, but lousy for spying from above.
So there's nothing else you can tell me. Guess this call was useless.
Now, you came to the right person, don't get upset. Agents who lose their cool before they even get out of the safe house don't tend to live very long.
That a threat?
You're the only threat. You bring that temper of yours into the mission, there's bound to be a bigger explosion than you like. But trust me, I can help.
Then let's hear it.
The thing about the camp is weather. Sandstorms are hitting the area pretty hard, which is to your advantage.
How?
It cuts down visibility for you and them. You need to sneak in before they know you're there. So just wait for the storm to kick up, then take them out.
All right, good to know.
Oh, one other thing. They've dug in deep, with a maze of tunnels beneath the camp. If they've got any weapons down there, it's gonna be a pain getting to them.
Then it's your job to get me through.
There's only so much I can do here, but I'll try. And if you fail, I'll have to take over and clean up your mess.
Sounds like you're gonna be my handler when I infiltrate the Al Samad camp.
Yeah, I got stuck hand-holding you. Hope that's not a problem.
When I'm in that camp, I expect you to back me up. Your attitude and orientation, it's not gonna fly.
What? You think you outrank me? You're not my superior. I'll do my job, you do yours.
Been with Alpha Protocol long?
Longer than you, so yeah, long enough.
There a problem?
I was just curious how you managed to get this mission instead of me. But if you don't want to tell me, that's fine too.
Nothing to say. If you weren't picked, you'd know the reason better than me.
Right, well, I hope you don't mess this up. I'd hate to clean up after you.
That'll be hard to do with you all the way back in
Now,
days.
if you forget why I was antagonizing Darcy so hard, it's because if you have a negative reputation with him, then you get a bonus endurance as opposed to a positive rep, which gives you a bonus to your gadget usefulness, you know?
Mikey,
Grenades do
you there?
more damage,
Yeah, I hear
flashbangs
you.
last longer, stuff
Come on,
like that.
We can get through this. Even if we do hate each other's guts.
Yeah. Sit rep?
No radio chatter, no alarms. Looks like you did a good job of getting in under their radar. Wish our choppers could. Would have saved us a lot of trouble.
Bad intel?
No, sandstorms. They fuck with the satellite imagery. But they're great for someone moving in on foot. Lets you get in for the kill before the bad guys know you're there.
So, wait for a storm, use it as cover.
That's the idea. Probably won't be that simple.
Actually, Darcy, it is
But hey,
kind of simpler
that's why
than
they
that
sent you
because
instead of me,
sandstorms
right?
don't kick in at regular intervals in this mission, basically making it a regular stealth mission at first, anyways, with a lot more of that PS1 fog. Speaking of PS1 fog, I was playing Medal of Honor Underground last night. That game has a lot of lots of that kryptonite fog, know what I mean? But then again, I was playing the level set in Casablanca, so it was kind of justified. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm knifing everybody on the insta-kill, it's because, as I have said previously, this mission cannot be 100% stealthed, so I might have been taking out some of my frustrations from being unable to be ninja style these last few sequences. Well, missions. Why the heck do I keep calling them sequences? Now, if I remember correctly, I try to run up on this. No, wait. I get spotted by this guy, triggering my evasion. But I still manage to deep six him before he can notice. All in all, today was a good day.
At the camp. They're dug in pretty deep.
Any sign of the radio tower?
Yeah, it's across the canyon from me. A lot of open ground in between.
Try not to get spotted. If you get trapped in there...
I know.
At first, this sequence, when I was first playing it, as in, like, back in 2015 when I first discovered this game, saying first a lot, sorry about that, it was kind of hard because I never knew who was a bigger priority. That guy on the ground that I just knifed, this guy who I am sneaking up on, or the guys in the towers. How the heck did this guy not even see me? Hey. Speaking of pop-in, that one guy just showed up out of nowhere. It's like cars in Saints Row 2. It's like... You know what I say? Know what I mean? After a quick trek across the canyon, I instantly get spotted because I'm a little bit, not exactly as clever as I thought I'd be. And even though I winged him, I contemplated just shooting him while he was on the ground, but decided to be a little bit merciful.
Found the radio tower.
Now look for the generator. Should be in a building nearby.
Generator's cut.
Got it. I'll signal the choppers now. Can you get to their main computer beneath the camp?
Now, you're about to
think a
see
way
me do
just opened
something
up.
that previously blew my cover in a previous mission. Specifically, use the zip line to sneak past everybody. Only difference is, after this, I'm not going to be loading a save file to try to ensure I get sneakier. And it's right about here that I realize that my skills can go past level 5 in the Saudi Arabia missions. My lord, I am incredibly absent-minded. Here I'm just waiting for the other two guards to walk past. By the way, apparently when you're on a zipline, you're straight up invincible. And I just clothesline that one guy, ziplining into him. That's another thing the game doesn't tell you about. If you zipline into guards, then you knock them down with only a yellow awareness pip as opposed to a red one,
I'm in.
even though
Now get to the
they
servers
should
and upload
logically
that
be
data.
aware of
You weren't kidding
the fact
about the
that
tunnels in this
you
place.
basically
Got
just
themselves a hell of
stood
a
on their
maze down
chest.
here.
Servers need power. Find power lines or work lights, then follow them to the source.
They need to find their way around as much as you do.
And here is me dealing with the last guard. Before I backtrack to a way I could have snuck around all of them if I wasn't interested in harming any of them in any way. Voila! A secret path. Why am I voila-ing like it's some sort of super good magic trick? But it's not entirely just for show. Going down that way also gives you $2,000 in a duffel bag. And behind there was a $1,500 suitcase. Here I speed everything up a little bit, because I was just putzing around for no apparent reason. Oddly enough, even though I putz around a lot in this mission, I just realized it's actually the shortest of the 3 non-mandatory... It's actually the shortest of the Saudi Arabia missions. Huh. Never actually noticed that. The things a capture card will have you notice. Ooh! Ooh! Nice little corkscrew dive for that one guy. I'd give him a 10 for the effort, but only a... You know what? 10 for the effort, 0 for the landing.
Looks like I found the old cells, mostly storage.
If there's time, see if you can get inside.
There is time, by the way. You don't need to worry about any of your handlers nagging you to hurry up with the mission.
Pick the lock.
Whenever you do have to hurry up, they're pretty quiet.
No sign of the missiles, though. Looks like this place has been cleaned out.
Damn. Guess that would have been too much to hope for. Alright, get to the computer.
Nevertheless, I still managed to get a lot of money out of those objectives there. One from bribing Nasri, and one from bribing his captors. I should have cut that part out. A little bit of putzing. And a little bit of almost getting spotted by the homie on the left. Oop, I somehow forgot about that one guy looking my way a little bit. Okay. Okay, but at least he was moving forward with that little, with that front somersault. So I'd give that a 3 for the landing. Still a 10 for the effort. Now, if you're wondering why I'm placing all these shock traps and miscellaneous gadgets everywhere, it's because as soon as I hack the computer, a bunch of enemies will show up. If anything, it's kind of like how, again, in Medal of Honor, whenever you trigger an important objective, enemies just show up out of nowhere, like, you know? Here, I'm setting a pseudo-hierarchy of gadget placement. The people who can make it the furthest, they will get the least embarrassing punishment. Just run up and get electrocuted immediately. That's an embarrassing way to go. And yes, I know the shock traps are non-lethal, just saying. If they were a smidge more tuned up,
Uploading the information now. A lot of data here. And this system looks pretty state-of-the-art.
Receiving. You weren't kidding. Watch your back, they probably got guards on the way.
These specs look like Halbeck targeting data tied into the radio tower.
Alright, get topside if you can. We could use the help. Looks like we got company. A lot of it.
So I'm pinned down?
I got a Black Hawk on the way. Meet up with us topside.
trying to get that one guy to show up, but apparently he's a little bit smarter than I thought he'd be. Notice the flashbang. And here I decide to pop me some confirming spikes, or as I like to call them, pin spikes, because I cannot figure out how to pronounce that word. And, much like a real fighting game, whenever an enemy starts blocking, you just hit your attacks a little bit later, cut them off when they're attacking on their own. Got that counterattack, and why the heck did I just miss that one suitcase? Ah, well. And hindsight, if I do live commentary, I have got to up my game, metaphorically speaking. But, after a... oh wait, I paused to take the silencer off my pistol, because from this point on, there is no way you're going to be able to stealth it. Mainly because the enemies have rocket launchers, and when rocket launchers come out, chances are subtlety is also leaving. And despite my taking out frustration by going lethal on the enemies, I just decided to use the shotgun video to
secure the landing zone.
Not a problem.
Because actually, I don't really know why I do that, but I will. More perks, more benefits, not any. I could just run up there and do a stealth takedown on him, but considering how he had a rocket launcher, I'm not exactly interested in getting that close to someone with that powerful a weapon. It's just common sense, you know? Okay, I just noticed I shot that guy in the back blast of his rocket launcher. Well, the little thingy in the back of the rocket launcher. Imagine if that created a special kill where it was a massive explosion. That'd be a pretty interesting thing to see. This one guy is using the rocket launcher, and there's a perfectly good turret right next to him. I honestly don't know how he didn't see me there. But if you notice, I just became a bit of a hypocrite. Didn't want to charge that one guy on the top scaffolding, and meanwhile, I just did something similar to that to deal with the turret hut bazookaman. After a little bit of a panic in terms of how to get the heck out of here without getting killed, and forgetting that apparently an 8-foot rotor thingy, or whatever the back of the helicopter's called, is still too short for a 6-foot tall man to get past, I decided to just run around it. And mission accomplished.
All the missions go as smoothly as this?
Ignore the phone ringing in the background. So, fetched the laptop mentioned in the informant's intel, and got myself a little 5K to spend as I please. So, 23 kills, 11 subdues.
Mikey, so you got back safely?
Yeah, thanks for the lift out of there.
Least I can do for all the joy and pain you gave me in training. Just doing my job, providing support.
We recover anything from the camp yet?
Some records. Good job digging those out, by the way. Still sorting through it, but...
But what?
Well, I'm out of the loop on the data recovery. Westridge assigned the analysis to Mina and Parker. We'll see what they dig up.
Any idea when they'll have something?
No, but with the two of them, shouldn't be long. Guess we just have to wait.
About the mission.
Yeah, what? Is there a problem?
I don't know why I'm being so mean to Darcy right now, because...
I could have gotten more backup.
He's only your handler for that mission.
Better not see any more attitude in the field.
And you don't get other handlers' bonuses when...
Now you do yours and find Shahid.
They're not your immediate handler.
Next time you talk to me like that, you check your rank. You don't
gotta keep my
orders.
Not
gotta
yet.
keep the routine up somehow.
Time, Darcy. Let me know as soon as you find out anything, Darcy.
Alright, I'll be in touch, Mikey.
And with that ends the third part of my Alpha Protocol Let's Play. On the next part, we will bring down Shahid. Get him back for shooting down that airliner in the Middle East. Well, technically having it shot down. Still, just as bad. Aiding and abetting is still a major felony, you know. Anyways, I'm Fredo Supreme, the American Dream, realizing that post-commentary might not be the best thing. I'll let y'all later.